we have online? We have Bush. Bush supports us. That big beer conglomerate from Norway or Sweden or wherever the hell, the ones that bought all the beer, they endorse us. We're endorsed by the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the KGB, even though they're defunct, the FSB, various other alphabet soup agencies. We are not endorsed by MI6. I do need to make that clear. I have spoken to the Queen's lawyers, and she's assured me that we are not allowed to claim that we're sponsored by MI6. But now that, that's the preamble. Now that the preamble's out of the way, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Too Late Show with Dr. Beelzebub Crow. Hey, everybody, we are happy to come to you tonight in your various dens of iniquity, wherever the hell it is you're squirreled up, waiting for the saucers to come. Good God Almighty, is this quarantine ever going to end? I actually have the answer. We've been told all about the long-term plan for the quarantine by our handlers in the CIA. Of course, we're not at liberty to divulge that information. That kind of stuff would get us cut off the payroll real quick, let me tell you. But here's what we're all about, okay? We like to go around to events like X Day, your Burning Mans, your Coachellas, your Microsoft leadership retreats, places like that, and, really get to know the local population, see how they're feeling about the world and art. And it seems to me when we gather in these kinds of places, normally I'm saying this in the outdoors under a tent. I feel like all of you can understand this quite well. I'm being bitten by mosquitoes normally when I'm doing this, but I'm stuck at home. I'm stuck at home, folks, just like you. And so we just want to still, get the full X Day experience by talking to the various subgenii in the audience. And, hopefully, learn a little bit more about you, hopefully teach you a little bit more about yourself by showing you yourself in a funhouse mirror version of yourself by looking at you, looking at us, looking at you. And, hopefully we'll all learn a little bit together. We've got an interesting show for you tonight, folks. We've got a couple guests coming in from the ether. We've got our very own CIA agent Jaguar, hiding, infiltrating in the audience tonight. We've got a master throat singer coming on the show later. And hopefully, if all goes well, we'll have a little bit of time to talk to you people. And I don't mean that in a demeaning way like I made it sound. I mean, we want to hear from you. We want to experience what X Day is like, wherever it is you are. I'm assuming that's, somewhere on the planet Earth for now. Hopefully we'll all be shed of this earthly coil tomorrow when the saucers come and snatch us up, and good God, pleasure for eternity. Absolute pleasure forever and ever and ever.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praise Bob.
Praise Bob.
Hashtag.
Praise Bob. Now, let me just, introduce you to our production crew here. Now, of course, we do have our producer, a long-term member of the Subgenius community. I'll just pass the mic over to him. How producers are. They need to have the opportunity to talk.
Hey guys, yeah, so I'm the producer here. If you need any blow, just hit me up.
Whoa, okay, so when he's the money man, so, how currency is, and, ever since we got off the gold standard and went over the cocaine standard, business guys have just been going nuts. I don't understand it personally. Now, we'd like to hear, just from the audience, whoever's sitting around out there. I can't see you. I don't even know who you are. I don't even know if I'm actually talking to anyone right now. For all I know, my production crew set this up, and I'm just talking for no reason that they can make me look insane to take all my money.
Well, what I can tell you is that we do have a question from the audience.
Oh my God, we already have a question? What is
this? It's wild. There's a question and answer functionality here. It's routed straight through China.
Oh, okay. So this is a question from China?
This is a question ostensibly from Twitter.
Okay.
So this question is that why the conspiracy is always hosing people down to get the LSD whiskey paste off of their bodies?
That's a common misconception, actually. And I'm glad you brought this up so I can address this clearly. Now, the conspiracy is always hosing people down, but it's not because of our patented LSD whiskey paste. That stuff actually can't be sprayed off. Like, it actually adheres to the pores, right? The little LSD crystals kind of lock in, and you can't really spray those off. You have to get some kind of really disgusting natural hippie soap to get that shit off of you. No, the reason the conspiracy is always hosing people down is they actually don't even know what's in their own chemtrails. Now, they're going around with these planes constantly, just pooping out chemtrails all over the place. They don't even know what chemicals are in half of those. So when you see cops out there hosing people down, they're making sure that they don't have any resisting arrest chemtrails or any thinking for yourself chemtrails. It's just a constant crisscross pattern up there of all the different kinds of brain chemicals you could possibly imagine, and even some you can't imagine. That's what the chemtrails are for. So when you see people constantly getting sprayed down by the police, or if you see people running through car washes trying to get scrubbed down, it's usually not a result of the whiskey LSD paste. It's usually because they're trying to get those extra chemtrail layers off of them so they can talk to a genuine human being for about 30 seconds. Thanks for that question. Definitely keep that stuff coming. There's obviously some stuff I don't know the answer to, but that stuff is very few and far between. Seeing as I work for the CIA and the NSA and the FBI simultaneously, I'm also the half son of Satan. My mother is immortal, obviously, but my father is, in fact, the Dark Lord himself. So I know a fair bit about the occult world, and not just from my studies with the CIA, who are, of course, all evil wizards. So yeah, definitely keep those questions coming. But we will be having some guests float through the show from time to time. Now, I want to introduce another character that's going to be off screen for most of the stream tonight. That is the Sound Wizard himself. You want to say a little something to the people out there?
Hello, Internet.
He thinks that you're the internet. Well, I'm not going to disabuse him of that illusion. Now he's our sound master. He's got clips, he's got beeps, he's got boops. He can tell you who wins stuff, who loses stuff. He could produce various crow sounds from his body, which is extremely impressive. I could just make the one crow sound. But some people have powers that I don't, and vice versa. So let's keep this rolling. Any other audience members have any questions or, want to hop into the conversation before we get our first guest on here? I don't want to immediately bring somebody from the CIA into the mix. I know that everybody's probably having a good time.
We do have while we're waiting for people to speak up, if they want to have a quick chat with us, we do have a couple other questions.
Yeah, keep them rolling.
All right. So
this is Dr. Crow solves your problems now.
Well, I'm going to go in backwards order because I can.
Going backwards is cool.
Yeah, so Argus Foe wants to know, how many hot dogs can you fit in a Coleman electric kettle?
Well, now that's an interesting question, and I think that mainly depends on what the consistency is of the hot dog.
Yeah, are these pre or post masticated hot dogs?
Yeah. Have you chewed the hot dogs or put them in some sort of a food processor? Because I'm thinking, first of all, you got to think if you line, hot dogs are very pliable. That's one of the reasons I like them. You can tie them together. You can just kind of 100 hot dogs at a time. I've seen guys do it. Now, if you were to liquefy the hot dogs in some way, or possibly if you're really trying to go for a world record here, to try and show those fools at Guinness what's up about hot dogs, you're going to want to liquidize them and then dry them out, okay? Put them in a dehydrator so you have some sort of a strange hot dog paste. Then you can just fill the entire electric kettle with the hot dog paste, and then I think that would be the maximum number of hot dogs. I don't want to venture, a firm guess here, but I'm going to say somewhere between 300 and 500 dehydrated hot dogs could fit in a Coleman electric.
That's a lot of dogs.
Yeah. Well, and if you're going for some sort of an apocalypse survival scenario, dehydrated hot dogs would probably be one of the best foods you could carry around pound for pound. That's pure protein right there. You could run from zombies or fight Mad Max style raiders or whatever.
With hot dogs.
Yeah, sure.
So we got another question. Anonymous attendee asks, is there really that's not suspicious at all? Huh? Is there really a high energy laser weapon on the moon?
Which one? Well, so first of all, the first thing to note about the moon is that it is not actually a celestial body. It is, in fact, an empty spaceship that was brought here via gravitational field from another solar system and filled with reptilian aliens. Now, do those reptilian aliens have a number of high-powered lasers on the spacecraft commonly known as the moon? You bet your sweet ass they do. And not only do they shoot us with lasers, which is the number one cause of, what is it called? When you catch on fire, spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous combustion is number one cause of that is caused from the high-powered lasers on the moon. But additionally, they also have mind control lasers up there, which is the number one cause of people going totally mad. It's also why the moon is associated with mental illness, because aliens have been up there beaming bad brain vibes down there for basically tens of thousands of years.
We've got one more question real quick before we get onto the subject of nuclear weapons. So Sleeping Dog asks, what do you think